Hi fellas, so this video is all about replacing my timing belt in my Isuzu Bighorn 4JG2. I started with draining my radiator. As you can see, it's all dripping, and sorry for the messed up audio. Actually, I don't know whether my radiator has a draining plug. So what I did, I just took out the lower radiator hose and everything is mess all over the ground. While my radiator coolant is dripping all over the ground, I start working by removing the radiator fan and the belts. To loosen up the power steering belt, you have to loosen up two bolts in front, and then there's one bolt just behind the power steering itself, and then you could start removing the tension in the tensioner bolt. It would be so convenient if I do have a ratcheted wrench. It would be easy to loosen up the tension bolt rather using a open-ended wrench, which keeps hitting the belt itself, and I could only turn it a few clicks. I was a bit desperate, and then I used a lot of different tools to open-ended wrench, a close angled wrench, and then on my ratchet there's a joint that gives me a weird angle, but then it just doesn't work properly. I'd rather say it would be so convenient to have a ratcheted wrench. After removing bits and pieces at the top, I'm now into securing the transmission line underneath, which is connected to the radiator. I did use some plugs to cover the transmission line so it would be protected away from dust and debris. Alright, time to remove everything, removing the drive belts, and now removing the radiator itself. Just in case I messed up, I recorded the things inside after removing the radiator just to make sure that I do have something to get back on if I mess up something during the procedure. Now, I have been advised that in the crankshaft pulley, there will be 5 bolts. The big one is the crankshaft bolt, and it's not advisable to remove it, not unless you're trying to replace the crankshaft seal. I did use the breaker bar to hold the crankshaft in position while removing the 4 pulley bolts. This is a bit tricky and I'm shooting blind. That's why I just try to keep feeling where the bolts are and trying to make sure that it's getting into the socket wrench. This is where I did mess up a bit. Like, I tried to keep hammering the pulley, just giving it a light tap. Actually, it's not advisable to use a metal to metal in those pulleys. But yeah, so I did use a bit of wood just to shake it off, but actually it didn't work. So I finally decided to use a pulley remover or a puller. Actually, that thing was originally used it to remove the crank set in my bike, but then I never thought that I could use it to remove the crankshaft pulley. So anyway, it did well in removing the pulley. And finally, pulley is removed, and trying to remove now the timing belt cover. This is the tricky part here. Like the head of the screw is totally flat. I don't know how am I supposed to remove it. The socket doesn't reach the screw itself. So what I did, I just tried to wash it with brake cleaner and try to remove some debris. But then I was able to remove it with a 10 mil socket. All right, cover remove. Now I'm trying to remove the camshaft pulley cover and the injection pump pulley cover as well. I tried to lock the ejection pump pulley with an 8 mil bolt, and as you can see there are some timing marks on it. Like in the crankshaft itself there's a wee dot, and I tried to visualize if that is aligned with the cam pulley, and yes, it fit well. Since this is the first time I did it, I really doubt myself about this thing, so I try to rotate the crankshaft a bit more just to see if this is the right timing, and I believe it is. I think I get it right. Try to put the screws in the hole in different position, but then yeah, it doesn't work. So there's only one position that those bolts will thread in the holes. And again, sorry for the messed up audio. Like, I was working outside of the garage, I couldn't fit the truck, and I got music on, of course, just for me to find some relaxation while doing this thing. Since everybody is listening, I would like to thank those masters on the Isuzu forums. Thank you so much for teaching me how to do this timing belt replacement. So here we go. So there's a line on the crankshaft. There's a wee dot on the crankshaft pulley bolt, sorry. And then the screws in the camshaft is there. Sorry, the cam pulley, I'd say. And then the injection pump bolt is there. So I think everything is set, everything is locked. Now looking into my stuff, so this is what I have, a Repco brand, and it contains a Continental timing belt. Now that everything is locked in place, now I need to figure out the tension. I was told that the tension should be 9.9 kilos to 9.2, but I was kind of dumb, so I just tried to remember it using my finger. I know it's hilarious, but yeah, that's how I did it. Now I have to remove the tensioner first, and then the other roller. Now that the cambelt is flimsy, now I just tried to pull it out bits by bits in the grooves. Looking into my belt, it is a square tapered profile. I don't see any cracks or any sign that it would snap real soon, but just to make sure and to protect my engine, I don't want to spend a lot of money to replace or get a new engine. And the Repco brand contains the Continental timing belt. time to put it now.